Hello, this is my friend Miguel. You've met before.
Hi.
Alright, so we're gonna read Twilight's Silly Secret something. Ew, by Flash Fox.
Flash Fox, alright.
Fox is...
Oh, foxes.
Foxes. Alright, so we're gonna be reading it. It's gonna be exciting, and we're gonna start. It was a beautiful day in Ponyville, and Twilight chose to read outside today. She lay on a bench, her back warmed by the sun as she engulfed in her favorite book. In her mind, her choice of outdoor literature was questionable today, but she figured no one would think much of it, and she's always reading her books. Before it was even noon, Twilight was already halfway through the book. She was so trapped in the moment, as the characters on the page leapt to life in her mind. Just as the grand hero was going to land the great buck that would send the villain rocketing into orbit, that was when Pinkie Pie showed up. "Hey, Twilight! You'd never guess what Rainbow Dash did today!" Pinkie said, casually bouncing towards Twilight. She stopped in her tracks when she spotted the book.
Hey, Pinkie.
Twilight responded, not taking her eyes from the book. "What you reading there?" said Pinkie. Twilight looked up at her slightly aghast.
Oh, just a science journal.
"Looks like a comic."
Well, some science journals have comics in them, to illustrate the point.
"I didn't know science journals came in hardcover." Twilight cringed. Sometimes Pinkie is smarter than she knows.
What were you saying about Rainbow Dash?
Hold on. I need to break something first. What were you saying about Rainbow Dash? Question mark. Stated Twilight. Just wanted to.
Oh my God.
I wanted to get in there.
That is not a statement.
All right, we're back. Pinkie was hit with the realization and went back to bouncing and overreacting. Twilight plants her attention back into the book. "Oh yeah, you should have seen her. Hoof lightning action overload. She was like a sonic superstar, flying higher and higher. Then Rainbow Dash swooped down, swoosh, and right down before she hit the ground, shoom, and pulled out, boom."
Uh-huh.
Twilight responded apathetically. She turns the page to the right and continues the adventure. Then she looped round and round like, woo, 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 woo. Pinkie fell over in excitement.
Uh-huh.
Pinkie spots something in the sky and runs off after it. Twilight sighs in relief as she turned the page right again and continued reading from right to left. Oh, is she reading manga?
Oh my God.
Ow!
What?
Oh.
What? That's so stupid.
Oh shit. Oh shit. As it turns out, this is no ordinary book, and it wasn't equestrian in origin at all. It was a hardcover, vintage, collector's edition comic from the far distant land of Nippony.
Oh my God.
For their books! The comics reading from right to left instead of the standard left to right of Equestria.
The pony.
Ponies caught reading comics from Nippony were often branded as creepy, and Twilight had originally intended to stay clear of it until a certain Nippony comic caught her eye. One Pony. The epic tale of pirates adventuring to find the ultimate treasure. She particularly likes the ship's navigator, Tsunami, with her deep and tragic past and her tough and trickster nature. Seeing the crew take on tough enemies like the fish pony pirates made her giddy like a schoolgirl sometimes, which is why she hides it from even her closest friends. She doesn't want to look creepy, does she? At least that's what she assumed what would happen.
I'm really going to have to order the next collection before the day through. Okay.
Said Twilight.
Gomu.
Oh no!
Gomu no.
No!
Catling. Oh my God! It's not stupid. It's good. It's a good story.
Shinigami chop!
Okay.
Twilight suddenly jumped into upstanding and bucked wildly upwards. Realizing too late what she had done, she looked around for suspects, thankful she was alone this time. She collected up her book.
And ran into the library.
She collected up her book. Awesome. I wish I could do that. I wish I could collected something.
Collect something up.
Collected my pillows. Do it in the future tense. Collected them.
Oh, shut up.
Okay.
Chapter 2!
A flashbox. It's Twilight's silly secret hobby.
By
Flashbox.
460.
Rated K English.
What about K English?
Rated. It's K.
Okay.
For kill.
Okay.
For Klingon.
Klingon. Rated N for Nipponi.
Hold on. I need some water. Hold on. They're gonna watch.
Okay.
You read it.
Alright, well, apparently I'm reading while he's drinking water. Applejack suddenly woke in the middle of the night. Her eyes adjust as she discerns the dark, unfamiliar location. She saw the rows upon rows of books that lined the walls. She finally noticed that she was lying uncomfortably on the floor. Turning over, she spots the white and purple pony next to her and an all-purple pony close by. "Oh yeah, the slumber party," she said in a whisper. "Did we just plumb forget to get in our beds before sleeping?" Rather clumsily, she climbs back on her hooves. The orange pony's eyes are half closed as if they were too heavy to hold up. She stumbles across the room and into Twilight's kitchen. "Might as well get me a snack before tucking myself in all nice like," said, yawning. "That's funny. Why I'm saying everything I'm gonna do." Okay. She chuckled to herself as she opened Twilight's fridge. Scanning the contents, she eyed the oranges on the bottom shelf. "Oh, Twilight," Applejack snickered. "You little traitor." She laughed really hard at this observation. However, she had to stop herself when she thought she heard movement from the next room. She closes the fridge and looks over at Twilight and Rarity. Twilight is rolling in her sleep. Applejack gives off a sigh of relief and goes back to check the cupboards. Hayes classic potato chips, Equine's frosted leaves, Coca-Cola.
Yeah!
I want some of that.
I want some of that.
Mm-hmm. Who knew Twilight would have so many name brands? Applejack began to pick up a loaf of bread with her mouth.
And she's just eating her food.
I know.
Fuck.
You bitch. What a hick. Applejack began to pick up a loaf of bread with her mouth when she noticed a small little enclosed space behind it. Pushing the bread aside, she noticed it was a little cabinet within the big cabinet, and it had a gold-colored label with fancy letters on it. Fuji apples. Cautiously, she opens the little cabinet and books spew out onto the pony. She falls back onto her side as she soon finds herself covered in books. "Woo, Nelly, does that girl have to keep her books in the kitchen too? Huh?" Upon closer inspection, she noticed these books weren't like the others. They had colorful illustrated characters printed on their covers. She nuzzles one open with her nose and is surprised to find comics printed within them. But curiously, they seem to be printed in the wrong direction. Before she could question them more, she notices that she just dumped a bunch of books in the middle of Twilight's kitchen. Hurried, she starts picking up the books with her mouth and placing them back in the tiny cupboard. How does she fit all these in there? Just as she was about to put away the last book, she caught a glimpse of the cover. She laid it on the floor to get a closer look. It had a dragon, looked much like Spike, except much taller than any pony. It wore a long red coat and strangely shaped glasses. The dragon's spikes form a weird shape that looks like the hair of a pony that has been struck by lightning. It held what looked like a gun, but much smaller and built to be held by the dragon's dexterous hands. The book's title floats above the hero. "Dragon," said Applejack aloud. "Is this supposed to be a western?" She opened the book with her hoof and began to read from right to left. It was a dusty desert saloon in the middle of nowhere. A dark individual sits in the corner, hiding from sight. The bartender tends to two ponies that are talking amongst themselves. "Did you hear? Vast stampede struck Hoofington Outpost. Demolished the whole bucking place. It was quite shocking."
How many deaths?
"None.
Really?
None whatsoever. It must have been a miracle."
A miracle in a land with no god?
Suddenly, a booming voice shook the establishment.
"Bask the stampede! We know you're in there! You have 5 seconds to give yourself up!"
The two ponies and the bartender jump in surprise. They run outside. Jump in surprised. Oh man, I lost my place. So dumb. Oh, they run outside and find a large line of colts, all with saddle-mounted machine guns pointed at the saloon. The speaker was a giant ogre-like beast with one robotic arm. They all scream and run for their lives in opposite directions. Then the guns fired, hundreds of bullets tearing apart the saloon, breaking it down into small chunks. Quickly, the building is reduced to splinters, all except for the dark figure at his little table, who was revealed to be a dragon. He placed the gemstone in his mouth and bit down. Then he stood up and faced the line of colts. He pulled out his gun and aimed carefully. Pulls the trigger. Click. He opens the barrel of the gun and jumps back in horror. In his panic, he pulls out a scroll which he folds out firmly in his hand. "Stand back or I'll send for help!" yelled the mysterious dragon. A bullet knocks the scroll out of his hands. He yelps and quickly runs for his life as the guns fired behind him. "I wasn't expecting that!" Giggled at the Jack. She continued reading into the night. To be continued.
Well, that was enjoyable. That was cutely written. I wasn't expecting that.
But the first chapter was quite something else. This one really made me want some Coca-Cola.
Yeah, dude,
Really
I want
bad.
some Coca-Cola. Flash Fox. Hey,
Flash Fox, make me
dude, we need
Coca-Cola.
snacks.
Yeah,
Why don't we have any snacks? You want to go out and get some snacks?
let's go get some snacks.
Go get like a bag of like Doritos or something.
But yeah, that was Twilight's silly secret hobby. You might be reading the other parts later. Who knows? Or
Yeah, no, this is like what page? Like 18, man. Like
yeah. You think
if you
it's just
watch
done?
if you watch this video this far, we think you should write a second chapter. You should continue.
Third chapter, yeah. I'd read it.
I'd read it. Coca-Cola.
Nipponi.
Nipponi.
And yeah.
Alright. Oh, baby. Alright.